It's a 3-day festival, and that's why this is going to be a shorter podcast than usual. So
Yeah,
apologies in advance.
happy Lao. Is there a proper way to say it? Like happy Laos New Year's? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Nobody really cares.
Oh,
If you know what the word Laos is, if you know that the people exist, and I think that's all they really care about.
oh wow.
Or
Okay,
we're
like,
not Asians, especially small Southeast Asian countries. They're not too picky.
that's true. That's
You
true.
can call
'Cause,
us
like,
rice farmers, and I think we'd be fine with it. Like honestly,
Bangladesh also has a New
all good.
Year's April 14th, and like I don't know the logic. Oh, I do know the logic.
wait,
but,
what
like,
day?
April 14th.
Is that your national holiday or what's up?
Yeah, that's Bangladesh New Year's.
Oh, same.
Or actually, wait, I'm pretty sure that's it. I might be
Hey,
scuffing it.
Laos New Year's is actually April 14th or 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Wait, we're in May though.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is what I was gonna tell you earlier. So the way Laos New Year's works
Uh-huh.
is that every state and every country has a
Yeah.
different day that they celebrate Laos New Year's. And do you know why?
Why?
The traveling party. It's
Huh?
the concept of the traveling party. So so to give you an example, this weekend is Laos New Year's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people will come from different states to Oklahoma to celebrate. And then what happens is
Wait,
that
why? You're just talking about it from your perspective.
yeah, my perspective. You'll
Okay,
see. You'll
okay.
see. You'll see. So
Okay,
we
got it.
celebrate Laos New Year's. Random days. There's like a committee that picks it out. But this year, May 19th through the 21st, Laos New Year's here in Oklahoma. That's when it takes place. People
Right.
come in from other states to celebrate. But what happens is the way this committee works is that they delegate another week for Laos New Year's to a different state. Like let's say this week it's Oklahoma. Next week it's Kansas. So people in Oklahoma can just travel to Kansas, and then it's a nonstop train of New Year's from state to state to state to state.
So that each state can host a New Year's
Yes,
festivity.
and everybody can go. So technically, if you have infinite money, you don't have to worry about a job. You can actually just celebrate Laos New Year's throughout the year.
That's kind of sick.
It's
but like,
kind of good. It's like a traveling. I don't want to call my people a traveling circus, but it's like a traveling circus. How like, oh, the circus is in town. Let's go there. And then they're like, oh, where's the circus going to next? Oh, they're going to Colorado. Well, let's go to Colorado. And then you keep on celebrating. That's how the Laos New Year's holiday works.
and so yours is also April 14th, but now it's relevant to Oklahoma, right?
So the OG date of Lao New Year's, which I'm sure they only celebrate this there in the country, is April 14th.
That's so crazy. That's the same. Yeah. I
But
just double checked it because
Here
I'm
in
like,
the States, it's willy-nilly. Like, you could literally say
That's-
Laos New Year's is December 25th, right? Like,
yeah.
like the birth of Christ or something. Like, it's the same day. Like, you can literally play that off. Like, and nobody would really bat an eye in the
there
Lao
was
community.
a girl that was Laos when I was growing up, and I now something just got contextualized.
You
like,
understand
went-
everything now.
Yeah, like she went on vacation like a few times, and I get it now. It was probably for
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it could be like. I mean, I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not big into the Lao like culture. I don't even.
Like-
I can't even speak it. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go there. I'll eat the food, and then I head out.
Yeah, like I think she would say like it was a Laos holiday, and now it's like
That's probably what it
couldn't-
is.
Yeah, there's no way there was like a Laos holiday like every month of like
Oh yeah, no, dude. It's every month, every other. Like it's literally every other week. Like I'm not even like joking.
I might be like this is when I was really young, like elementary school, and I remember like just at the end of the month or something, like she would just be missing, and then like I think I'd like give her my crayon. Like we were both the kids that had crayons, I think, like
Yeah.
and so like people would share, and so usually both of us combined would be able to like everyone would have crayons or whatever, outside the like the ones that the school didn't really give us, but they were there. And so when she wasn't there, I took more of the burden because I was like the only crayon person. So I feel like maybe I don't remember it exactly, but that's a cool tradition.
That's not bad. I think.
you know-
it's pretty all right?
When the like the state stuff like started,
I have no clue. I mean, it's been this way ever since I was born.
Whoa,
I like
that's
every year, like they genuinely like hand out flyers to tell you the date for Lao New Year's because it's not a set day. It is not a set day.
See, in for Bangladesh New Year's, it's just like I think it's like mainly like you give gifts kind of thing, and then there's just fairs, like lots of fairs. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's like I feel like it's what like what you would think about a New Year's, but then you would add like a festival to it, and then there you go. And then it's like more communal, right? Like it's more family. Like you want to see family, you want to see friends, like that kind of thing. And then I kind of like, wow, I should know this answer. I should, but like I always like, wait, why is it April 14th? And now I'm even more curious why your like Laos one started April 14th. Did they have like the Romance Dawn like on April 14th?
I'm lying to you. It's not just April 14th. It's April 13th, 14th, 15th, or 16th.
I mean, I'm sure that's just a differential of like locations, right? Like there's certain parts celebrate it on different days, that kind of thing. Because I think that's the same thing with Bangladesh New Year's. I think India celebrates it April 15th.
Like even on the Wikipedia page, it says generally begins 13th, 14th. Like there's no, I don't think there's like a set day. Like I wouldn't put it past the Laos community to not have an actual day. They're just like, you know what? Whatever day falls on a Saturday. I could see it.
Do you guys have like a native language there? Like outside of...
We speak Laos.
Laotian?
I think
I was just
Lao is what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that when I was young.
I've heard Laotian, but I don't think Laotian is like a correct term.
Got it. Yeah, I just...
But I mean, you're not going to catch me fighting for that. Oh, size Laotian. All right, cool. You going to throw hands, buddy? Like, oh God. Ah. You know, like I'm not going to throw up my arms like, "Oh, like how dare you I was about to say misgender me."
Yeah, I was wondering.
You got my native pronouns wrong?
Cuz so apparently the root language is Kradai languages, and I was just wondering if we like cuz Sanskrit is like a language that permeated through the Southeast Asian, but I think it like the Kradai is separate from the Sanskrit from what I'm seeing. So I was just interested in that.
Actually Bangladesh is actually in here. Lao's New Year's takes place at virtually the same time as the New Year celebration for many other countries, such as Bangladesh.
Yep, there you go.
And Cambodia and China.
Yeah.
And India and Myanmar and Nepal, Thailand and Sri Lanka. Nice.
What happened to that region? What?
I don't know, but it also says that Lao's New Year's is also the start of monsoon season. So maybe this is the final hurrah before we say goodbye to our Nakama.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like back in the day, they're like the new year, like it's like the gods like forsaken them. Like this is the beginning of the new year. We made it, and then the monsoon season starts. Like that's why it's a celebration because it might be the last.
Yeah, it's the last hoorah we're gonna get. Hey, say goodbye to all your girlfriends and everybody. Like they're all dying tomorrow, man.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And speaking about last celebrations, last hurrahs, for those, a lot of people, you guys might have thought that our last episode was our last hurrah because there was a missing episode. But it honestly, you know, apparently the New Year's have better scheduling than we do.
Hey, just like Christ, Par died and came back to life, or the podcast died and came back to life, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you know, it was mainly on my end, so I want to apologize for that. There was scheduling stuff, family stuff, and then I think the main thing also is that me and Sai and I record this at a certain time of day, like that's also like demon hours, and then
Sunday at 10 p.m. my time.
Yeah, and then we end up talking to like
something like that
3 a.m. sometimes, and we don't necessarily record. And so Sunday was beneficial at that time, and now it might not be for May, but then also that time of day might not work with me in the future because my son's like sleep schedule and me and my wife's like parenting schedule, like when we take the duties of changing, like, you know, taking care of him.
The night ruler and the day ruler over here.
Exactly.
And
like
and
that.
and the thing with scheduling too is that when we have that preset date already in our minds, it's like, okay, we're just building up to it. So that by the time we hit that day, if we can't do it, it's like, oh, snaps, like every other day is already filled up now. You know, we can't really like squeeze in the episode. So it's just like missing connections, but we're going to get back on track. I think it should all work out now.
And then in terms of the last episode, it was recorded. It was just I was just like busy because my son had like a full body allergic reaction, which, you know, allergies in babies is one thing. And like babies kind of go through, like they get hives from random things. This is like a part of the course of like living, whatever. But then it's also like a worrisome thing because you got to watch for temperature.
Par's baby looked like he got hit by Magellan, bro.
like we were calling
it the Ivankov treatment.
Like I was telling everybody is like, he's the man marked by flames. Like, and I sent you the picture, and he literally, and he the
Par's
crazy
baby was whew.
Yeah, right. and the craziest part was like my wife was worried, sick, and like for good reason. Like
when you wouldn't be, I'd be more worried if they weren't worried. Imagine Par was like, oh, my baby's like, you know, allergic reaction, but let's do the podcast anyways.
Yeah, no, that was
the cursed timeline.
I was literally like basically on call for the baby. I was just like, because anytime like something changed, I was just like noting it down, because if you, God forbid, you have to go to the hospital, that's the kind of information that they need. Like, how long has this symptom last?
As long as the podcast.
and then like, when did this change? What did you expose your child to that preface this reaction to that reaction? You have to know all those things, the sleeping, feeding, all those things. We tracked all those stuff normally, like through our various ways of doing it, apps and stuff like that. But it's even more important than like giving medicine, you know, clearing up mucus. And then my son also, I haven't talked about it, I don't think I'll talk about it right now, there's like a whole other underlying condition too to be worried about. So all that in line, that was just something like, I'm not like, I was like, hey, I'm going to edit the podcast, and then my baby gets sick, and I'm not going to be like, I just forgot. Cause like, like, I'm just like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, obviously the first priority is the son. So
to put it simply, thank you guys for sticking with us and waiting for this episode. We promise we'll be back on track. And also I posted in the little section, if you guys have any podcast logos that you want to pitch to us, please send it our way, because nobody sent us anything. You could draw something on a piece of paper, and I will take it.
Yeah, they might have sent it in the Discord. I might not have checked.
Oh,
I wasn't checking that. But the good thing out of all this was that despite having this absurd reaction, that like when we talked to the pediatrician and nurses, they were like, "Wait, like he's fine." Because that's ultimately, his temperature was fine. He was eating perfectly fine, sleeping. The only difference in sleeping was that he just wanted to sleep on me rather than like sleeping wherever. He was just like, he just wanted to be on like, if I put him anywhere else, even on like next to me, he'd be like, no. And then sleep like a baby.
I thought you were going to say the nurses saw that you were a podcaster.
Oh no. I mean, they kind of
Apologies, sir.
and
here's your microphone.
And then, he was like perfectly fine, like the entire time, like happy, talking. He was just like, and meanwhile, we're just seeing like hives, like red marks take over his entire body. And he's just like,
and the nurse is still like, yeah, it's casual Tuesday. Don't worry about it.
No, they're like, his temperature's fine. And they're like, yeah. And then they're like, are you sure? And it's like, and he's eating fine. It's like a little bit less, but the thing is, my son also eats more than his like age range. So when they heard like how much he's drinking, they're just like, oh, that's more than normal. I'm like, yeah, like
raise it up a little Kimbo slice. I see.
Yeah, and then what we found out is that we low key have been putting my son through like a hyperbolic time chamber. Like we've been like, so. What does
that even mean? He's like training like Trunks, or what's up?
Like a gravity thing, in the sense of so for those of you guys who don't know, I'm sure a lot of parents would know, is that when you like feed your child, there's like bottle nipple numbers. So like it's 1, 2, 3, like, and basically it's like fast flow, slow flow, like, and it progresses, because like the first one is like like if you hold I think there's 0 too. If you hold the 0 bottle upside down by the nipple, it won't drip. They have to like bite on it to get the stuff out. With number 1, it's like if you hold it upside down and like do that, like shake it real quick, jolt it, then a drop will come out. If you do 2, then if you hold it upside down, it'll start dripping. Number 3, it'll start dripping. And you're supposed to change that nipple as your child develops. And they give you like a rough month expectation of when to do it, but babies don't follow that agenda. And my son's like progressing more. And like we kind of were like, oh, he's drinking enough. He's drinking more than his age group. So there's no reason to change that nipple size.
Yeah.
And so we essentially realized like, oh, we need to change from 1 to 2. And so we bought a bunch of number 2s. And then my wife just had like a number 3. Like one of our bottles is number 3.
Your kid's going to be a lady killer one day with the nipple sucking.
And the thing is, so the other reason why the nipple size matters is because if it's too fast flow, they'll just throw up because it's like too much too quickly. Like their stomach will just fill, or they'll get gassy, or then they'll drink less, or
they're
they'll feel
scarf and
uncomfortable.
barf the nipple.
So you have to watch for those things. And so the transition from 1 to 2, we're like, oh, right, cool. He's drinking like 5-6 ounces now regularly, all the feedings. And we're like, cool. And then it went down a little bit when he's sick. And then randomly, my wife accidentally tried the 3, and he just scarfed it down. And we're like, wait a second. And he didn't spit up. He didn't throw up. He wasn't uncomfortable. It looked like he wanted more. And we're like, wait, this entire time we should have been on a 3, and now we're just on 3s. And he's just like there's not enough for me. Like it's kind of crazy how he's
a bottomless pit.
Yeah, adjusted. And
now when he's over 18, there's not going to be a single nipple that won't face his wrath. He's going to be on the news like the nipple sucker. The nipple sucker's back at it again.
When they say like they grow up too fast.
Yeah.
In between the calls, so we just recorded the podcast that gets posted on your channel for One Piece, and now we're doing this. In between, there was a delay, and it was extended for both sides, but for me it's because we just bought a high chair seat and he can sit up on his own, and so my wife set it up and I just came down to him just like on a high chair seat, and I'm like, no, this is so cute. And then like his like the high chair seats are like a nice one, and it has like a ledge where your feet could go, but that's when you're much older, and his feet don't even pass the seat that he's in, so he's just like,
bro, imagine tomorrow he's gonna go up to college.
I know.
He's gonna be holding a briefcase and be like, hey, dad, like, father, I will see you later.
The way he handled the sickness, and then everything since then, like yesterday was the first day that me and my wife actually like went out without him. Like every time we've gone out, we either always split up the duty, like she'll go out, I'll go out, or we'll bring him, or one way or the other, we're always with him. Yesterday was the first day we went without him. We went to a concert as like a date kind of thing.
Left him in a hot car.
The
best babysitter out there.
So people don't clip this and be like, oh my god, we left him with his sister-in-law and the grandparents. And
imagine people actually think it's serious, like, oh my god, part left him in a car? What?
Yeah. I mean, there's always gonna be people that just stumble upon this, like, oh my god,
like face
look
value.
at him. Yeah, like he looks like the kind of guy.
No wonder he got an allergic reaction. It's from the car seat belts.
Yeah. And so we did that, and the whole time we were just like the point of it, it's like that's a healthy thing to do, because like eventually your kid's gonna leave you, so you can't be like clingy on that your end.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to be, and the whole ride. We came back at 5 a.m. and originally my wife was like, should we get a hotel room just to stay over? I'm like, no shot. I'm going to stay at a place and knowing that I could just drive back to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if it takes 3 hours. I'm going to drive home.
As a man, you got to drive back home.
Yeah. Like, hey, you threw in the as a man there.
As a man, you need to drive back. Like, come on.
As a dad, I kind of like, I looked at my wife when she said like and I like yeah, in a normal circumstance when we were
almost offended
childless, we would be easy hotel room. Let's do that. Save the stress. Why do that? Why instigate a possible car accident in the wee hours at the night in the middle of New York City? Why do that? Right?
Yeah.
Crazy people all over the place. But as a dad, when my wife says like, should we get a hotel? And she was just like, she wasn't like saying we should get it or whatever. I kind of looked at it, I was like a
suggestion. Even the suggestion is offensive. It's like, me? Like you just like take off your belt, like you whip out your pee
No.
and you're like, babe, do you see this? I wear the pants in the family. Yeah, like I have balls.
Yeah, and so like this was like months ago, or not months ago, like a month ago, 2 months ago when we said that, and but then especially because he got sick, I'm like, ain't no way.
Yeah, I'm not leaving my son alone.
Yeah, I'm coming back instantly, and the whole ride was just like, this is gonna be like this is gonna be our reality for most of our lives, right? Our child that we've only known for upwards of 5 months now, that's like our everything. We're gonna have to walk away, or they're gonna walk away, like, you know, have their own life.
Wow, that's like, deep. It's either they walk away or you walk away.
I mean, it's like
that's so deep.
They have to go become an adult, right? And then like when 18 years, you know, God, like, you know, willing that the best case scenario happens, they live a long, happy life. 18 years for that length. They will
live a long, happy life. We don't need to pray for that one part. It's
yeah. I'm not even a religious person. I just say like things like, I'm just like, hey, like life happens, you know, given my personal thing. It's like, it's gonna happen.
We gotta be optimistic, like King Cobra in the throne room.
No. King Cobra in the throne room.
Always gotta stay optimistic.
No, but like, you know, 18 years is a minority amount of time in their life, and that's the time that you have. And afterwards, like, however long I have after that point, it's like
even, man. Well, what if your kid's like, I don't like par?
Oh God, that's the other thing. Like, it's a sad.
Cherish your family.
It's a sad thing of like this reality of someone made like a viral TikTok like early on in the pandemic, and it was viral because the sentiment of the pandemic of like how we stay inside and we don't see our families that often. It made you reflect on those things. And then someone said like, listen, if your parents like 60 or something, like, and the life expectancy is like 80, and you see them twice a year because you live somewhere else, that means that you're only going to see them 40 more times in your life. And that's kind of like crazy, you know? Like when you sit back and you know,
say goodbye to Nana and Papa.
Like people don't have the best relationships with their parents, whatever, whether it's on the fence of it being salvageable. Sometimes, you know, I don't have the best relationship with my parents, but sometimes I sit back like, dang, this is like 9 out of 20 left. Like, this is crazy.
I'm treating it like a Lego collectible mission, and I'm getting them all. Hell yeah.
Nah, because in the other podcast we talked about how like in the King Cobra situation, he's like, I don't have that much time left. You better get married and give me grandkids. But
and he dies.
He dies. But in his defense, he's actually just like decrepit and dying, like he's sick, right? Versus our parents are like 40, 50, 60, and they again, like, given modern medicine, are probably like, my dad's sitting here like, oh, I'm gonna die tomorrow because he's sick. I'm like, you literally have the best medicine in the world right now. Like, what is going on?
Son of a gun. Also, letting you guys know, my camera is dead. No, your screen did not shoot out. My camera will only last 4 hours alive, and then it dies. Me and Par have been on calls for over 4 hours. So enjoyed the black screen. Actually, wait, let me see if I can do this instead. Did you know Discord can actually change the video background?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. That's me now, buddy. Oh! I'm hacking into the mainframe.
Wait, you could probably let your thing cool down and we'll still be on the call for a little bit.
Oh my god, yeah. Here, I'll turn off my camera, and by the time I turn it back on, I'll pop up by the end. The chair will spin around, and it's me on the swivel.
Yeah. I mean, technically, this is a podcast, right? Like, I haven't been posting on the Spotify stuff. I need to do that.
Oh, hey, speaking of this, I have 3 topics, actually.
Oh,
all
great.
Adjacent.
All right.
So, talking more about Spotify and Patreon, and then I want to get back to the kid thing, because I think that's kind of cool, too. But... Speaking of Spotify and, you know, our breaks, let me tell you what happened. Somebody reported us for being imposters on Patreon. The other 50-50 podcast is coming for the smoke, and I want all of it.
You don't say that. Listen,
right. You know what? All I gotta say, we got more viewers, we got more subs, and they've reported us for being imposters. Man, I don't want to be imposter. of those guys. I don't want to be their imposters at all.
They're imposters of us.
They're imposters of us.
Hey, listen, we are throwing out allegations that we can't confirm.
We have no idea.
But there is some validity to what Sai's saying there. It seems like there was a manual report done on the page, which is weird. Like the Patreon, there's no like the 50/50.
We only have 2 people. We have 2 patrons. Why are you coming after us?
And
we didn't do anything.
The other 50/50 doesn't even position themselves as a podcast on the Patreon. So it's like there should, like on YouTube, whatever, there's probably a bunch, but on Patreon there isn't. And that was like a weird thing to report us there.
Yeah,
like for
why Patreon?
Yeah, and then we got it verified. So it's like now, you kind of just strengthened us.
And then here's the thing too. They are the 50_50 podcast. We are the 50/50 podcast. There's a distinction there. We're not imposters.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. Like I like to see your logo with that underline, like the back in the AIM days.
All I gotta say, our logo's still developing. Our logo could change tomorrow. You have no idea what we're capable of yet. This isn't even our final form.
Yeah.
The fact that we got manually reported for the 50/50 podcast name is ridiculous. And let me tell you real quick. I responded to that email. I hit up good old Andrew from the Patreon team, and I was like, Andrew, let me tell you right now, this is the Parvision you are talking to, commoner. I made sure to throw out Par's name. I wore that like a sleeve on the back of my shirt. I said, yo, like, hear me out. Par has a YouTube channel with 40,000 subs.
You have one with 50 and you just don't like.
No, I don't like clouding myself up. I said, hey, and I don't want to say anything, but the guy whose ID you just saw, I am Sai. I am sinful. I have 2 YouTube accounts, well over a couple thousand subs. You're messing with the wrong dogs here. And then Andrew from the lovely Patreon team, he apologized. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." He did. He said, I deleted the email because it had my ID in it. But he said, I apologize, sir. I see it was an error. Carry on with your day. We'll make sure to flag this so that if anybody else reports you guys, they'll have to deal with me. And we recruited Andrew to the squad.
I have the emails pulled up, by the way.
Oh, damn. Never mind.
No, I mean, hey, Andrew got a mouthful for sure coming from us, which is, I think at the end of the day, though, it's funny because like in terms of podcasting, we're just 2 dudes with the mic, but then also what people don't realize is like, we are 2 dudes with a mic that also like come from a background of social media, but it's not just like a normal social media space. Like our like niche is like the most competitive niche in like
it's One Piece, bro.
In like, because everyone's talking about the same thing globally, right? Like it's kind of wild. And so, hey,
I never view myself as an influential this is the first time I've ever had to like flex my stats in my life. I hate like saying, hey, I'm this guy, but I was like, if somebody says I'm impersonating, like, hear me out. I'm not.
And the way I
hear
see
me
it
out,
is
other
like
50/50 boys. We're gonna turn you to the 50 Cent boys.
I honestly don't know how to flex that when it comes to like sponsors and stuff. But like, hey, if you're the person who reported it, all I'm gonna say is that we're not foreigners to competition. Let me tell you.
Par, he may be Bangladesh, but I'm gonna generalize him. I'm gonna call this man Indian.
Aww.
Me? Yeah, I might not be like Chinese or Korean, Japanese, but I could be them for a minute. I could start speaking some random Japanese words. Any minute now, you're not going to be dealing with the Lao Southeast Asian boy. You're going to be dealing with the full-grown Japanese tech industry mogul.
I thought you were going to go the other route of saying, like, hey, we're not just...
We transcend race.
We're not just Southeast Asian. We're not these larger groups of Indian, Chinese. No, we went... Our lineage determined their own... We competed for our own names and titles and New Year's. And like... to the point where
push back the New Year's just to deal with you guys.
Yeah. Listen, I could celebrate New Year's next week in a different state.
Like imagine I call up the Lounge committee. I'm like, guys, push back the holidays.
Like it's a
I gotta
biker
deal
gang.
with this first.
Like it's a biker.
Yeah, no, dead ass. That's so funny to me.
Oh,
Really, no
God.
hate to the other 50/50 podcast, but if you are
Hey,
the ones, like I said, we have no clue if they actually flagged us, if they're the ones who did it. But if you are the ones, fuck you. If you're not, then you know we're chill.
Why? Why we didn't do anything?
We didn't do anything. We have no overlap.
If anything, it's beneficial if we bring our community to search 50/50 because then more people might stumble upon that. It's a collaborative thing. And if we collab, then we can call it the 100 episode. You know what I mean?
Did you see their YouTube @ So
No, I
on
didn't.
YouTube, we have our @ is the 50/50 podcast. On
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, their @ is the_podcast -KQ56Q. All I gotta say, we got the branding.
Wait, that means they chose that. The _podcast_ because that's
Maybe
not their
that's where the
name.
beef started. Maybe that's where the beef started, though.
But we were late to the handles game. I would get it if it was like me and Brago, like who took our original names. Like I'd get that, but like we did this months later, like if not a year later.
Hey,
How long was YouTube handles for?
well, Par, I forgot to tell you, but being a not Southeast Asian man right now, my dad owns Microsoft.
wait. I could say that.
Yeah,
more.
hey, pull out the Bangladesh, pull out the Indian privilege. Well, what do you got? Well, what's the best thing you can hit us with right now?
Wait, isn't the CEO of Microsoft, Coca-Cola, like all those
Yes.
companies? They're all Indian.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
They're,
I'm not
either,
Indian.
they're
but
either Indian or Turkish.
it's so funny because it's just like it was made by a white guy, and then like then it's just handed over to this like not random, but like this Indian dude.
All these random fodder people. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Coca-Cola is the female CEO too. She's cracked. She's
No wonder
pretty
why
incredible.
Coca-Cola's no good anymore. They're missing the cocaine.
That wasn't her.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, here. This actually takes me to the next topic I wanted to talk about. You talked about your kid and allergies and stuff. Have you
Yeah.
heard of the story of this lady suing McDonald's?
Oh, was it the warm nugget thing?
Yes, it's the warm nugget.
That's
What do you think about that?
I heard it from Moist Critical.
Yeah.
But like I think the whole premise of it is goofy because I think the precedent that they're trying to use is the hot coffee thing. But the hot coffee one like the
Third degree burns, burned her
Yeah.
skin off and everything.
Yeah, so like if you guys don't remember, but they're at a time there was no like if you get a coffee thing, like I think Starbucks, whatever, there has to be like a hot label now because
Yeah.
of that case that was won by the person. But like even if that case didn't exist, I think the hot thing should be there just as like a safety thing. But the reason why that case was won, I'm pretty sure, is because there was actually an issue with the machine that just gave the coffee and it super warmed it or whatever.
Yeah,
and so it like
superheated that shit.
It wasn't like boiling. It wasn't just boiling water. It was like plasma.
It was
water.
lava, bro. That lady. I mean, God rest her soul. I think.
Wait, she
I
died?
do feel bad for the elderly.
Wait, she didn't die.
When we talk about people who are like 80, 90 years plus, I have a lot of respect for them. So I don't want to like meme on her too much.
Yeah.
But bro, if you look at the pictures of her leg after being hit with coffee, she deadass took a Ace versus Akainu hit. Like she actually got melted from that coffee. I feel so
Yeah.
bad because when I first heard it, I was like, oh, she got, she spilled coffee on her. Like that's Bozo, right? Like, oh, El Grandma. But I looked at the pictures and I was like, holy crap. Like
That's not just coffee.
Yeah, no, that was like the hottest coffee in the world. Like
Yeah.
it's actually like scary looking images. Like the coffee burned holes through her skin.
Yeah, like and the thing is, like I've had like boiling water, like it'll be hot, but even if it drops like a certain distance, like it cools off enough where it's like it's still hot, but it's not like deathly. You know what I mean?
It's not fatal.
Yeah, and then the other part is that like those cups, like they're just like paper or whatever, right? They're not the best insulators. So like sometimes when hot coffee, even with through the sleeve, you can feel the hot, and sometimes they forget the sleeve, and you can feel the warmth of it. And so like, if I wasn't expecting it, right, and I'm expecting, like, you know, I ordered 3 drinks, one's cold, one's normal, and one's hot, and I don't know which one I'm grabbing, right, and they don't tell me, and I grab it and it's hot, I might jolt and let go of it, right? And then you add on, if it's hotter than boiling water and it's just like insanely hot, then that makes so much sense that you just drop it. Even through a sleeve, sometimes you can feel it, especially those, like the McDonald ones, right? Like those don't really do, I mean, back in the day, they didn't, from memory, they didn't really like insulate too much. So like that made sense. And also, when you drop liquids, you can't, like, I'm not a water bender. I can't just.
I like how I have to preface that. I don't bend water, but
yeah, like you can't like you can't like it falls on you. You can't just like no water. You know, the water hit you. In order to get rid of the water, boom. But in this current thing that you're talking about, it was explain the situation. But
okay,
like it was a nugget, not water.
So. The lady, you know, just to go back to the lady real quick, the lady picked up the cup, the old lady picked up the cup was hot, she jolted, it spilled on her lap, and she couldn't really do anything about it. She's in her car. This is a drive-through. It is McDonald's. The kid that got burned from the chicken nugget was in the back seat.
Didn't the I might be inserting this, but didn't the customer service, like at the thing, they were just like they're basically like elbows to the lady.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like I remember them being like, that's your fault, you know, like
it's literally her fault, because the thing with the chicken nugget is that it was a regular temperature chicken nugget, like fresh out of the fryer. It might be a little bit harder than usual, but it's nothing crazy, right? Mm-hmm. But the craziest part is that the kid apparently got burned by the second degree burns, which is not that bad, but the chicken nugget was on the child's leg for 2 to 3 minutes for it to burn her.
How old is the kid?
I think the kid was like 5 or 4, which, you know, obviously
years.
Yeah, years.
What?
And
how
it's
do you
like,
get a kid to stand that still?
Yeah, how is the kid that still? Apparently, they said the chicken nugget got wedged in between the seatbelt and their clothing or skin or whatever. And it's like, but how? Like, if it got in there, it can get out. And you're telling me the kid, 4 or 5 years old, with all this spry young energy, didn't move to get the chicken nugget out of there? And you're telling me the mom just witnessed their daughter being burned for like 3 minutes? And then now they have the gall to sue McDonald's. This is one of the few times I really hope McDonald's like brings down the hammer. I hope they send this woman to court hell. I will start a GoFundMe for McDonald's. Like, I'm gonna put a clown emoji and be like, let's raise money for the clown to take down the bozo. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm all about, like, you know, like, oh, it's big company. They don't really need the money. Yeah, sure,
it's
fine.
A kid that's hurt too.
Yeah, it's a kid that's hurt. But this situation, you have to admit, this lady is just trying to milk. She's trying to milk a fly for cow milk,
and they're using It's not like it's not like the lady. It's, to me, mentally, it's different if it's like you're in a bad situation, you're in a time of stress and you lash out, but then you sit back and you like continue to think about it, and then you think you're in the right? Fine. But then to also like conflate this and parallel this and use the other one as precedent, because I think that's what's happening.
They're trying to use the lady's coffee as a precedent for this,
which is like, that's not even close to the same like thing. And then like, yeah, like that, because then it's like I haven't seen the kid. Like, I want to know what their
if this was your baby boy, and he was like, he dropped a chicken nugget on himself and he said, "Dad, I'm burning. Somebody's burning the Horcruxes right now." Like, would you not help your kid within the space? Like, do you think you'd be able to save your kid if your kid was right in front of you, chicken nugget on his leg? Or do you think it would take 3 to 4 minutes to do something?
I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not slandering this 5-year-old. I'm really not. But my kid, if he was strong enough, he could unbuckle himself. Like, he's smart.
Who would win? Who would win? Your kid or a chicken nugget?
The chicken nugget, like the kid can throw things. Like he can't. Like he like can like rolling over is an important milestone, not important milestone, but it's also a safety thing so that they can get themselves out of bad situations, right? So like my son, he just doesn't want to show us that he can roll over, but we know he can. He's like completely capable. Whenever we're with him, he like goes like 99% of the way, and then he just flips himself from the, like he uses one hand, flips himself, right? So one time my wife left him like on the play mat where like he has like his like toy things, and then she came back, and he, like, in order to do what he did, he had to roll over, lift up the mat, he put it over himself, and he was just playing under the mat, and my wife was like, why we like, and he was like fine, and he like and the other thing is like the like a wood pet, like a, like, so if you're laying down and then there's like a, think like a swing set, right? Like, you know, like the bars and has like legs and like then the swings like dangle, right? So think swing set, but like instead of like it's for a baby, it's smaller, and then there's like toys hanging down, right? Instead of swings, right? And it's made out of wood. It's supposed to be safe for babies, even if they chew it, not gonna cut them, that kind of thing. He's tossed that. Like, he's literally like I'm like, okay, cool, I can leave him, and then I come back, it's just flipped. And I'm like, what was the point? How are you 4 months flipping this thing that's supposed to keep you occupied while I take care of like
hear
the
me out.
stuff?
You didn't you're avoiding the question though. Can your son beat a chicken nugget?
Yeah, he could beat a chicken. He can't eat solid foods yet, but he could. The thing is like, so another fun fact, they make the buckles on those child seats like I don't know, like not the buckle that's on them, but there's various buckles. Every child seat's different. But one of them, the main one on ours, is 9 pounds. And it takes 9 pounds of pressure so that babies can't do it, right? Yeah. I'm terrified that he could probably do that soon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and this is, again, it's a 5-year-old, but like if he has like his pacifier tossed, like if the blanket tossed, like sometimes his shoes kicked, like already. So I'm like confused. How did that even happen? Like maybe he was sleeping, but then how did the chicken nugget, like maybe he fell asleep with the chicken nugget there, but like
imagine falling asleep with the bird, like the way the mom described it. This is like a chicken nugget out of hell. Like it was like she was being branded like a fresh cow.
So the kid was like screaming in terror, right?
That is what the mom described it like something out of Saving Private Ryan. Like they were storming Pearl Harbor, you know, screams were in the background, explosions, World War II, people were being set on fire, war crimes, white phosphorus was being deployed from the sky. Like this mom was building this up.
What is her excuse for the 2 to 3 minutes though? Because I can't.
So this is a genuine excuse, and I think this is based in like, yeah, it's plausible, sure. She said that she was it's a drive-through, so she was driving. She was in the middle of traffic. So I can agree with that. Like, yeah, she couldn't do anything,
but if the child is screaming and you're in listen, I was in traffic yesterday.
Yeah, you can stop the car, right? You can stop the car.
We were at a stoplight, and it was in Jersey, and like, so people are already wild there.
Stop sign, stoplight, anything.
Stoplight. It was a very long line. Dude got out, opened his trunk, and it wasn't even like, it wasn't like we were stopped for, like, literally it was just the red light. It was just a red light. And he just kind of like got out, opened his trunk. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? And like, you know, if my child was screaming, hazard lights, honking, like pulling over. What do you mean? Like that 2 to 3 minutes is a long time.
And
you know,
they're 4 to 5 years old, so they could probably decently communicate something, right? Like hot.
Like I don't want to take, like, maybe the child has disabilities or learning disabilities, various kinds of things. There are those things where they need that kind of assistance, but then even more so, it's like 2 to 3 minutes is kind of that's a long time of like, listen, like my child has screamed for like 30 seconds and it felt like long time. I'm like, how? Talking to my wife, like, it took you that long for the bottle. She's like, it's been 20 seconds. What do you mean? I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Hear me out. These are 2nd-degree burns, which I know sounds horrible, right? 2nd-degree burns. Oh God, like that sounds scary. They're not. Second-degree burns aren't that bad in the grand scheme of things, depending on like the severity of it.
Let me see a 2nd-degree burn.
Like,
have I gotten 2nd-degree burn?
We're talking about second degree burns from a chicken nugget.
Let me see. I feel like see the second degree burn part on its own sounds crazy. Then he said from a nugget, and I'm like, yeah, it couldn't be that
from
bad.
a fresh chicken nugget, bro.
Okay, so second degree burn looks like it immediately the skin does melt and blister. So that is seems like it doesn't peel away the skin, but it blisters. It honestly kind of looks like a bad sunburn. Like if you got a really bad sunburn, it could look like this. Honestly, I've seen a few. Obviously, it would act different because the source of heat's different, obviously. But okay, that's painful for a 5-year-old. I could see the agony, but like, yeah, there are worse burns. But then again, like plasma coffee versus nugget, you know, like it's so different. I'm more impressed that the nugget stayed.
It somehow stayed on this girl's skin for 3 minutes. That is like, unless it like melded to her, right? Like some crazy like melding going on.
The breading came off. Like that is a plausibility, like a plausible thing. Like I've had fried chicken that like the skin just fell off because it was so hot, and then it hit me, and then as an adult I just kind of went whoop, or I just ate it and then it burned my mouth, and my wife was like, if it was so hot that it fell off, why did you do that? I'm like, I'm dumb, but like I just still did it, you know, and I'm not here suing Popeyes for that, but like that's interesting. 2 to 3, that's that. I think that's the I can't
there's no real excuses, honestly.
I can't theorize 2 to 3 minute excuse, and I'm trying to be as charitable to the.
You don't have to be charitable. I think she's absolutely just trying to suck money out of McDonald's.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like for me, like I think I'm gaining a new perspective, but I've always been on the side where it's like when it comes to parenting, like there's so many situations, especially like when you're a parent, a mom, and alone with like 3 kids, whatever. And then like everybody can stand back and be like, why didn't you do this? This is the logical thing. It's like, you don't know what it's like to be in that parent's shoes. And like the amount of like decision making you have to do, but then also like the hormonal stuff from like being like a parent, regardless of like mom or dad. There's so many things that just come into play, and a lot of the things that people say doesn't even make sense for the parent to do, and parents know that. I feel like a lot of times when news like this hits the mainstream news, a lot of times people aren't charitable to the parent and understanding like, yeah, maybe given your hindsight, given you're not in the situation, you have this perspective that makes sense to you, right? Maybe as a mob mentality of all of us coming together and figuring out the best, that's not something that someone can do within like 30 seconds while they're stressed out, while it's the end of the day, while they have 3 kids. And yeah, maybe it's too much stress, but that's the reality for a lot of people, right? Like people are in that. And I want to be more charitable, especially in a situation like this, like being a new parent, whatever it is, it's difficult. But this one's kind of like, I can't really, it's a tough one. It's not, I can't.
I like to imagine her lawyers are saying the exact same thing you are, like, this is a rough one. Like, she's walking up to their office and they're like rubbing their hands like, ooh, McDonald's payday, like $2 million. And then they tell the story and then the guys are like, oh my God, like how the hell do we spin this? And then the thing is, like, no matter how you try to frame it, like they've tried to like put the PR teams on this to like make it sound like, she was devastated, like, she couldn't do anything. McDonald's really had malintent. But
Nuggets already have the hot label on it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they do.
She's lost. They can't do anything.
They literally lost. What you know what she said too?
I think if this makes it to the court somehow, she finds a lawyer. There's like 2 routes, and they're ridiculous. It's like assault with a deadly weapon. Or negligence, like they like negligently allow, like, because if she, for example, if she bought a Happy Meal, so this is a product positioned for children, there's no reason for this. So outside of like as a parent, right? Like there's certain temperatures of water that you could put them in. The food, certain temperatures you can't put certain. They might be able to go like, this is negligent because this is a product positioned for children, and so there's no world where this thing that I purchased for my child through the Happy Meal thing, which you're advertising for children, should be unsafe according to whatever APA, American Pediatric Association. That where they say food temperatures for babies should or infants, children, whatever, should be at this threshold. And if they could prove that, then there is. But I don't know if people have the money to like go that far against McDonald's. That's not. I don't know.
Especially when they're not at fault. Like McDonald's will throw the book at her.
No, because then. You know what? If McDonald's loses that, then we could lose chicken nugget. Like, then we have the cold chicken tendies for kids. You know, like, what is their solution?
So, something the lady said too was that they think it's not malpractice. They think it had malintent because she said that so it was a 20-piece chicken nugget set. She said out of all 20 chicken nuggets, only one chicken nugget was that hot. Which I don't know why she would say that, because it absolutely hurts her case.
Yeah, that hurts.
That is actually like a minus. Like, that's not like.
Yeah, because then she has to.
Then. Like, you have to. Like, how do you prove that?
Yeah, then she would have to build up like a rapport with that McDonald's.
No,
like the employees.
McDonald's story is goofy.
Damn, she said too much. Oh man.
Well, hell yeah for McDonald's. I'm fucking,
no.
The next statue of Ronald McDonald I see, bro, actually just gonna like jizz all over him or something. I don't know. Pour one out, like get a bottle of alcohol, pour some alcohol at his feet. Like I'm cheersing this man. I'm cheering the clown on.
You know, this is like. I'm not the biggest fan of McDonald's. I haven't eaten McDonald's in a very long time because my health situation is just an easy thing to cut out in terms of like chemical, foreign, processed, artificial. It's not exactly, if you have, cancer and you're eating McDonald's every day, you're not exactly helping your case. Like no doctor's going to tell
you that
like,
when you got cancer, like, hey man, you can't eat at McDonald's anymore.
No, they're not going to say that to you, but they're going to recommend like, hey, that's probably not like, especially if you have like cancers that are like, there's certain cancers that they'll be like skin cancer, right? They're not gonna tell you McDonald's, right? Brain cancer, not gonna. Like that's just like that would be that'd
brain
be dumb.
Cancer, please don't eat at McDonald's.
Yeah, like you can. It's recommended, but I doubt there'd be an oncologist that's dealing with like an aggressive brain cancer. Be like, cut out McDonald's. No, they're gonna be like, eat what you want because we don't know. Like if you
don't have much time left, buddy.
Yeah, like they're not gonna do that to you, right? There's certain ones like the gastrointestinal ones. Yeah, they're gonna tell you not to like they're gonna highly encourage certain different things, and even outside that cancers that are associated with the gastrointestinal tract are also like that too. So in that line of context, like I don't eat McDonald's. I grew up on McDonald's though. Maybe that's why I had cancer. So
that's why you're also rooting for McDonald's right now.
Not necessarily.
It's like a hometown hero.
We don't, but the thing is, McDonald's does have a special place in my heart for a reason, and I figured like we don't have too much time anyways to talk on a full separate topic, so we could just stick on this for a little bit. But I'm actually planning. I already got into contact with a few people for this to do a fundraiser kind of thing, like
for McDonald's.
For McDonald's, but not necessarily McDonald's. It's the Ronald McDonald House. I don't know have you heard about the Ronald McDonald?
No, what is that?
So they I had to use this tying all the conversation back actually, because I said I wouldn't bring this up. When my son was born, the first week of his life he was in the NICU, and they told us that he might be there for months because of certain factors. They weren't sure, and I processed all those factors, and I was like, okay, so we need to do X, Y, and Z. And you're gonna do you guys say you're gonna do it, but I could also just do it myself. Because the thing is, at the NICU, not all people are in a position to be able to be there for their son or daughter or child, whatever. And so luckily, given my life and everything, the YouTube stuff, had to take a break. That was one of the times I did take a break. um I was there, and we were able to get him out much sooner, right? Because I was there for every feeding, every diaper thing. We measured everything, like made sure he got all the medicine. There was no gaps in his treatment at all, because it wasn't someone else taking. And he was at a great hospital. I could have trusted the nurses. I got to know all of them, but I took all that care into my own hands. And then so we were able to get out way ahead of expectations, because they were thinking like months. And so when they told us that like, hey, you should prepare to, like, he's gonna be here for like at least a month because of this certain thing. We lived far away from the hospital. I chose that hospital because that's the hospital I get taken care of for my cancer stuff. So it was beneficial for me, but then also for my wife's sake. Like, why not just go there? Our insurance covered it anyways. The only problem was just driving, so we got like the hotel and things like that to make things work. And so we get hit with the month kind of thing. And at that time, my wife was also in the ICU too, because she had a really tough birthing process. And so after this is also like a COVID thing also, but this is something that should just be a rule. They should have always had this rule, was that not necessarily this one, but after she got discharged, when she was in the ICU, she's allowed, because she's a patient in the hospital, to go into the NICU and visit, but it doesn't count as a visitor because she's also a patient, right? Technically, I was the visitor to both of them, right? Yeah. They only allow you one visitor during the entire, like they allow you a parent and a visitor. So once she got discharged, only one person can stay with the baby overnight, and that was me, because my wife was like, basically she couldn't walk at the time. And so at the time of being discharged, we didn't like we couldn't, like a hotel for a few days, but that's expensive, right? And it's like, you can't get housing like that. And then even with housing, through like not discounted fees, but like when you're like in the hospital thing, they give you like certain like discounted rates, but they're still like, it's still like costs like $200-$300 a day depending, right? And a lot of people, like, that's a decent amount of money, especially if you're told like you have to be there for a month, right? Like, and we don't want to leave them, and obviously we can go back home. And then that's where Ronald McDonald came in.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so they what they do, and apparently they started in so those guys, I haven't shared this, I don't think, but Connecticut, that's where all this stuff is. New York, Connecticut, I've lived in New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, right? So time this is in Connecticut, and I think they started in Connecticut, but since then they've gone to many other states. And what they do is they give free housing to families who have children in the NICU. And they give discount. I believe they give discounted rates, and they talk to insurance for the people that don't fit the requirement. But it's completely free if you live like for like an hour away from the hospital, and like you're there. Like, so like, for example, if you are at a hospital, your local hospital, and your child has like a crazy situation, and they got to get taken to like a top hospital, that's hard for the parent, right? So their child got moved over there because they need the specialist. How are they going to facilitate that? The NICU is already expensive, insurance, all that stuff. So then they provide free housing for all those things. And some of these kids have to be there for, in my case, they said like months, right? But then some of those kids that were there, I saw them, they were there for like a year, 2 years. And in that building, like, there was just people like, like coming in, living there for free. They would go back to wherever they were, flew in, whatever, and they were just there. And there wasn't that many people, and because it was like around Christmas time when this happened, so there wasn't gonna be a lot of people. But like, they give you free food too. They like, everything's volunteer based. They get like everybody, like the community around them, schools, whatever, universities, they donate like food and resources and even like entertainment, because like they'll bring in people to play music, like play gyms, like all that stuff. And on top of that, they also provide lifetime free housing because they know that for NICU babies, yes, even if they leave the NICU, they will have to get checkups. And those checkups are lengthy. You can't schedule all the appointments all at once. So like, let's say you get out of NICU and then they're 6 months or a year out. They probably have to have like 7 doctor's appointments, right? Like, cause they have to check this, and that. And those are all different doctors. They can't line up the schedule. So in that case, they're like, hey, you just call us up. We have you in the thing.
We have you in the Ronald McDonald registry.
Yeah, exactly. And instantly. And I've used that because that is our situation with my son. Sometimes we just have to go there for like 3 days or something. Well, luckily for me, I'm really good at the hospital network and just like, hey, like I have cancer, I have this like MRI, ultrasound, this doctor's appointment, and like it would be devastating to have to spend another week for my son. Could you move around everything to make it work? And then the people just like end up doing listening, and he's gotta be nice. And so
what
so
you're
we
saying
haven't
is that you're really hoping that Ronald McDonald sues this lady so that you can get more help. I'm all about it.
You know, the Ronald like I sat there when because I didn't know that existed. My wife looked at me, she's like, wait, this is crazy. I learned about this
here.
Yeah, like when my wife told me, because like it was a social worker who set us up, because I was just there like, I guess I just gotta like figure out how to pay for this. Like I just don't know, or like we have to figure out how to like go back and forth, which again I was fine with going back and forth. The main thing was like my wife's situation because she couldn't walk at the time, and so when my wife told me, I was like, what did you say, Ronald McDonald? She's like, yeah, the thing from like our childhood. They like, you don't know this? I was like, no, what? And then when it got there, and like they gave us a tour of how to use the facility and how to be like respectful and do everything, I sat there like, where you guys are hiding? Like this is like this is a whole like, you know, I don't know. And then truth be told, I you know, had my own investigation. I looked at everything. They had like the most suspicious thing at the place I had was this deep, like not even like a, like, you know how like in restaurants there's like the cooler, like not the refrigerator room, like the freezer room. Yeah, the walk-in. It wasn't even like that. It was like because I've seen restaurant like versions of that. This was like another level, and I was like, is this locked? Like, and they. Like, so the first day I was like, that's where it is. They don't want us to go in there. And then like, I saw someone just walk in and walk out. And I was like, what? And then I walked in and it was just loaves of bread. And I was like, oh, this is a wholesome place. And so, you know, after that, you know, they did such a good thing for me. And, but also like the people that stayed there, I was like, this is godsend for these people. Like these people would come back like crying, and they don't have to worry about this. And this is like a lifetime thing that they have to deal with. And this is like a resource that I never heard about it. Even my wife knew about it, but she didn't know it worked like this. And I'm like, I want more people should know about this. Like a lot of people have to deal with these kinds of things. And like, there's like an incredible thing that's happening. So while I don't support McDonald's, like, Ronald McDonald House, they're doing like that's an incredible thing that they're doing there. So that was a quick aside. So you know like that
you're rooting for this woman's downfall. I hear you, Par. I got the bottom line. Don't worry.
They care about kids, and I care about kids, and they're probably looking at this case like, here,
this kid is doo-doo. We gotta sue the mom now.
I think they should just have if the lady doesn't take the settlement.
Did they offer her a settlement?
No, I mean I'm like 90% sure they're just gonna have a settlement.
Yeah, I mean a lot of companies just want to get the settlement, just get it over with. But I don't know, man. Like if I know I could win this case and I have like disposable money, honestly, I would just fight this as long as I can. Drain this lady of all the money she has for this goofy ass thing, because she can drop out. Like she can literally just drop out. So it's not like Ronald McDonald would be like, you know, holding her up or anything. This would just be like her goofy little reality where she wins this case legitimately.
like the McDonald's, but the thing is that's not like good for their optics. That's not good for their corporate thing. Like at the end of the day, I'm like 99% sure they'll be like, listen, our lawyers will explain this case to you. Here's $1 million, 500,000, whatever, chump change to McDonald's. Do you want to pursue this case? Like you know, like they might even say we'll cover the hospital costs. You know what I mean? Like we'll cover that. Well, however much it is, we'll cover it. You know, and if she pursues it, I don't know. That's just, it's just wild that like. Sometimes I sit here and there's these stories that we hear about and we talk about off the podcast, or we hear from like mutual sources, and I'm like, do people have decision making? Like,
do these guys actually exist?
Yeah, like I don't necessarily like the NPC like trend that happens right now. Like people just call people NPCs. Sometimes it's applicable, but it's been so like,
it's applicable when it comes to manga and video games, but in real life, it's like there's no way.
yeah, like people actually believe that like, oh, this person just loaded in because they're in your proximity, or like this person is an NPC. Like there's actually people who believe in that kind of thing, and I'm just like, no, these are real people, you know. And then I'm kind of like, but then it's the decision making like this is it like, I want to be charitable, like
maybe
like they're not lobotomized.
She has like a grand plan. She could be like Kira, right, from Death Note. She's like 50 steps ahead. She knew that we would make fun of her right here, and she's ready to clap back at any moment.
I was going different. I was thinking maybe a nugget fell on her in her childhood. No one stood up for her.
Nobody stood up for her chicken nugget part.
She said like the seatbelt. Like I'm just gonna assume like it's if it was like on the torso, right? Like. Whatever,
it fell
like
down like somebody's shirt, like they couldn't take off their shirt, and like, oh god, like, you know, I have no choice but to get attacked. Maybe.
Yeah, and so like she's like this is her trump card in the case, right? Like she like pulls aside and she shows the same scarring. This happened to me when I was a kid. You haven't changed your ways in 30 years, and kids are still getting scarred by your poor nugget practices.
Imagine we see the kid, and these second degree birds are like worse than we thought. She's actually like missing a leg and everything.
There's like like you could, you know how like McDonald's nuggets have like a particular shape. You see the shape.
No, you see a hole that goes through her entire body, like it melted like all the way through her, like a clean bullet.
But we know that's not, because you said second degree. But like maybe they meant like
headcanon.
Yeah, maybe they meant like second degree away from not having a leg. You know what I mean? Like
a second away from not having a leg.
Yeah, like we don't know. We don't know.
She
what
had
the
to activate her second life to survive this.
Yeah, like there has to, like, it's either like really weird decision making, like borderline lobotomy, especially because there's no way in the world McDonald's kind of looks at this case and is like, can you just take this money and stop talking about this? You know what I mean? Like that's just billions of dollars, right? $20,000, easy
I wouldn't
way.
Even offer that much. I'd offer like a free meal at McDonald's for a day, and then that's it.
Yeah, and like the only reason why they would need to do that is just like a corporate optics, like, you know, like does it really benefit them to take a case against a child's like healthcare when they have Ronald McDonald? Watch them try to
settle it, and then she sees it as an admission of guilt. She's like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, no, but people are like that.
No, I know people are like that.
Yeah, we've talked.
It happens. But with that being said, we're gonna have to end it here.
Yeah,
we got to go ahead and head out. Thank you guys for stopping by. Next week we'll have like it's weird because like we were aiming for an hour when we first started the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we gravitate towards 2 hours now. So this is like on the shorter end. But I promise it'll be longer next time.
Yeah, this is kind of like what we thought the podcast was going to be about. We like have a topic. Warm chicken nuggets apparently is the topic of today. And 1 hour, boom, boom, boom.
And then it's a beautiful topic.
And then slow, you guys can see in the episode lengths, like there was like a moment we had like the shortest episode since this, like I think this might be the shortest one, and then afterwards it was like the longest, and it kept trending towards longer and longer.
Yeah, I think there's one that was like 2.5 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, 2 hours and like 36 minutes or something like that. Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're there.
to the moon.
Hey, if you hey, Sai, is your camera back? Do you want to say goodbye with your camera on?
Yeah, here,
or-
I'll turn it back. Let me see.
Yeah, we'll end it with a good hoorah.
Oh,
of,
I should have, when I turned my camera back on, I should have just like, wait. How do I change my background? Oh no, technology. There. Oh, wait. Here we go. Look.
The background.
I'm in Hawaii.
Yeah.
There we go.
With
See you guys later. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. See you guys next time. Come up with was it homework is logos, topics, and
we didn't even touch on the wheel.
And get ready for a future Discord link. Prepare yourselves for that.
All 5 of you who want to join the Discord for the official podcast, be ready.
Yeah,
I can't wait till we drop it. Like maybe 3 people show up. They're like, whoa, woo.
Get your usernames ready. Wait, can we stall out for like 50 more seconds? Because then it'll be 11111.
Yeah, sure, I got you, man. This background is so cursed. Let me.
That is cursed. Maybe change it. Don't give these people. Some people go to sleep with us on. You know.
There we go.
What is this?
It's like Teletubby HQ.
Oh yeah. I was thinking like Angry Birds, but then Teletubbies. That's only there.
Here, okay, we'll just turn that off. I actually hate that. All those backgrounds are so bad.
Yeah. We have I think one of my topics was AI. The OpenAI CEO is in like cracked. Absolutely cracked. Menace man. So we'll talk about that next time. We have
and the wheel.
Oh, and the wheel. We had to study up on that. 5 more seconds. Have any last
I'd rather
words?
not study up